Listening to Comic Reflections, episode 67. I'm your host, Nicholas Prom.
I'm Jeff Barnhart, sidekick extraordinaire.
Okay. Well, today, to start our very last episode of the year, we are going to kick off. Today is a big Jack Kirby extravaganza.
Who?
What? and to start, we've got 6 issues of Kamandi, the last boy on Earth, to talk about. Let's see. So the very first, we've got Kamandi number 2, and the story is Year of the Rat, written and drawn by Jack Kirby, and inked by Mike Royer.
No, the whole series is really good. Jack Kirby must know what 8-year-old boys want to read about, because he had what was the one with the dinosaurs?
Devil Dinosaur?
Devil Dinosaur, and
what a fun book that is.
Yeah, and I wish I was much younger to really enjoy it. That would have just blew my mind when I was a kid. But my older, but I can appreciate the artistry and the coolness of it. But I cannot enjoy it like a kid.
Right.
And these is it's Kamandi is this boy who is in Year AD, Actor Destruction.
Yeah, he's in the. This is in. Jack Kirby did 2 books in this kind of alternate future called The Great Disaster, and OMAC was the other one, and Kamandi was the other.
And they're related.
Yes, they are. That's right. Kamandi is a descendant of Buddy Blank, right?
Right.
Right. Who was the OMAC?
Yeah, who is a descendant of Superman.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
According to Wiki, yeah.
Okay.
So.
Okay, that I didn't know. You got me. Okay.
Okay. Wow, that's happened.
And see, I was thinking that the Great Disaster period was the period of history that was kind of lost to the Legion of Superheroes, and then that they came like after humanity kind of came back or whatever. But I found out that the Great Disaster is an alternate timeline, and the Legion exists in the 30th century of the main timeline, and Kamandi.
I had the impression there was another Earth, like Earth 1 and Earth 2.
Right.
This is Earth K for Kamandi.
Oh my gosh, I don't know.
I don't know. But it's really cool. Earth has had a disaster, and apes and tigers and
bears and rats and dogs and every kind of big animal.
I think some kind of fish too. Barracudas have become sentient, and we don't see barracudas in these.
Right. Well, there's also the Sacker Company, which is run by Mr. Sacker, who's a big old snake.
Oh,
we don't see him in these. Yeah. We don't see him in this 6 issues. I've read about another dozen or so issues of the series besides these, and they're wonderful. It's very similar to Planet of the Apes, but it really does go off and do its own thing. You know why he's called Kamandi, right?
No.
Because the place he was raised in, like this underground compound, the place was called Command D.
Oh, okay.
So his name is Kamandi because of that.
Yeah. DC wanted to do Planet of the Apes, but they couldn't get the rights. I think Marvel had them.
Marvel was adapting, yeah.
But Kirby did a similar thing before the book was written. The Planet of the Apes book, he did something with apes in charge or something like that.
Really?
So, yeah. So
that'd be something to look into. I'd like to read that. But
there are Kamandi websites. There's a few of them.
You really did some research this week.
I didn't know much about Kamandi. I've seen the ads for him. Says, that looks interesting.
Yeah.
Because he's paddling away from the. I've seen him in ads about he's paddling away from the Statue of Liberty, which is destroyed, and stuff like that.
That's like the cover of the very first issue. What was I going to say? People tend to think of Jack Kirby and they think Marvel Comics, Silver Age. But in the Golden Age, he did a whole bunch of stuff for DC, then known as National Comics. And in the 70s, he did so many different new projects at DC. It's like it's almost like his Marvel times was just kind of a stopgap between these two other very big creative periods.
Yeah, I thought his Marvel time is the most culturally significant in comics. I'm not sure.
I'll agree.
I'm not sure if any of his DC characters are still around.
Well, the New Gods are in use, and in the past few years, they've used OMAC again. The Demon Etrigan.
Oh, okay.
And
one of my favorite.
And the Losers, which was a team of war characters that Kirby created. They had a fairly recent revival, reimagining, and then a movie was made about them. So he's got a lot of
awful, but
yeah, I don't know. I haven't read the new stuff, but we'll take a look.
No, I'm talking about the movie, but it's usually if you don't hear about the movie that much, and there's a movie about it, it's usually bad.
It can be, or it could be surprisingly good. We might be like, hey,
it could be.
It could have just totally slipped on the radar.
I'd love to be wrong, but I doubt it. So,
yeah, that's what I haven't seen it, so I
put
can't
money.
comment.
I wouldn't bet against me.
Yeah, but yeah, lots.
I've read The Losers, and I used to read all the war comics I could get my hands on. But
well, sure.
The ones I read, I didn't think were Kirby-esque.
Well, they might not have been Kirby.
Yeah.
I mean, but you were in the service and reading war comics, what, in like 1980?
No, it was much later.
Oh, okay. Well,
I mean, I read a few when I was in grade school, but
sure.
Then I got out of it. Then I started just reading a bunch of them. I don't know. They're interesting.
Okay. So. But yeah, do we want to go ahead and start with this?
Yeah, Year of the Rat. All right, Kamandi is with Ben and
Dr. Canis.
And Dr. Canis.
Now, Ben Boxer is this mutant, and he's one of like 3 mutant guys who can like press like a button on their shirt, and they turn into these like completely metal-skinned, superpowered guys, and they're really cool.
Yeah.
But they're in Dr. Canis' laboratory.
Yeah. You have a great 2-page splash panel. These rats, these humanoid rats, and they're stealing stuff, and it is just gorgeous. Beautiful.
Yeah,
I would love to have this on my wall. It is fantastic.
We can photocopy it while we're here in the library.
Yeah, it wouldn't be this.
Okay.
It wouldn't look that good. All the other, there's a lot of animal, human type things, and most of them are mean and nasty.
Yeah, all these animal people, they refer to Kamandi as an animal. They think he's a trained animal because he can talk and stuff. So, so again, lots of similarities with Planet of the Apes, but I think the animal people in Kamandi, they're more advanced than in the Apes movies, scientifically.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Kamandi does become friends with the prince of the lion, or excuse me, of the tiger people, and I can't remember his name, Prince Tufton.
Yeah.
But yeah, what's going on in this story? I think Dr. Canis works for Prince Tufton.
They're captured by the tigers.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right, he works for them. And so the tigers are being bad, and Ben gets mad and turns into Metal Man. And so they escape in this cool sub. And no one can draw technology like Kirby. It is really amazing.
Yeah.
I wish movies would do this. How cool they are, and although movies would be too quick. I mean, great thing about comic book, you can just stare at it and look at it and look at the intricacies.
Yeah.
But it's really, man, it's just so well drawn. It's just absolutely gorgeous.
Oh yeah. I mean, and especially when you see like the scenes with the Kirby dots or the Kirby crackle, you're like, oh gosh, I could just look at this for a long time.
Yeah. All right, so they escape in this sub, and they get out, and they get captured again. This time by the rat people.
And they're scummy.
Yeah, they're mean and nasty. Man, when you want that, here's an ad for superhero stick-ons. They look big. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, and they're decals you can put on walls and binders and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And Marvel had a set of those too from the same company. It'd be nice to get both sets.
Yeah, and here Shazam's coming.
Yeah, there's a big house ad announcing that Captain Marvel, the original Captain Marvel, is going to be published by DC Comics. And it's a big deal because he he'd been out of publication for about 15 years because Fawcett ceased publication in 1953. There are no Silver Age Captain Marvel stories.
Oh well, that's too bad. That'd been a good time for them, I think.
Yeah.
Oh,
the greatest time.
So they fight against the rat people and escape.
Oh yeah, Ben and his two friends who are also mutants and turn into metal men fight these rats, and man, it is so sweet.
Yeah,
these rats look like just horrible monsters, like.
Indeed, and it's just kind of cool. Supposedly, the three, they're inhumans, they're not humans.
Right.
They exposed themselves to radiation, then it became nuclear people.
Yeah.
So I ought to try that.
Yeah.
Cool.
And they escape in the Ben and his pals their airship or whatever, which is really neat.
Yeah. And we have an ad at the end.
It's a house ad for
The Shadow.
And it looks really cool. And the art, I swear, in the house ad looks like Bernie Wrightson's. I could be wrong, but it looks pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I know he didn't work on the series itself, but
it's great. It's in
black and white.
Black and white. Everything's shadowy, and I would like to read a Shadow comic.
We have 2 issues of The Shadow coming up very soon.
Oh, that's cool.
In fact, one of them has a guest appearance by the Avenger, another pulp hero, and who had a very short-lived series at DC in the 70s called Justice Incorporated, which 3 of the 4 issues were illustrated by Jack Kirby.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. I'm looking forward to that.
I've read 2 or 3 issues of that series, and it's fun.
Yeah. The radio show is good, too.
The Avenger?
No,
or The Shadow?
Shadow.
Oh, I've heard a couple of them. They're pretty fun.
Yeah. The weed of crime bears bitter fruit. The Shadow knows.
Yes. So moving on to Kamandi number 10. The story is Killer Germ, and it's written and drawn by Jack Kirby with inks by Mike Royer. And boy, this might be my favorite single issue of Kamandi.
It's pretty wild. They're being attacked by these vast amount of bats. Just thousands and thousands of them. And they're with this guy called the Misfit.
Yeah. What's the name of the place? They're in like this compound or something.
Oh, it is made by the humans earlier. The tracking site.
That's right. And this is it was created before the Great Disaster?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the Misfit, man, is ugly.
Yeah.
Kirby can draw ugly, and man, it's just. And Kamandi saves him, but then Misfit's really a nasty critter, and he's
this tiny little dwarf who has like a really weak physical body, but like he has mental powers.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean, yeah, it's like he's got this huge head on a baby body,
kind of like MODOK.
Yeah,
who we see later today. Mm-hmm. Spoilers.
Yeah. And there's this germ, which is, I don't know, the size of a manatee. It looks like.
Oh, and what
Mordecocus?
Yeah, that's so cool.
And so it kills everything.
Yeah, and so it's trapped in this vault, but if it's released, it'll kill the whole world, basically.
So, Misfit thinks that since he is an inhuman, he won't be killed by it.
Right.
Unfortunately, he's wrong.
Yeah.
Let's see. It looks like Kamandi gets to watch a movie about the making of the germ.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pronounce that again.
Mordecocus?
Mordecocus?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, and we see Ben Boxer and his 2 pals as children, and and also the Misfit. Mm-hmm. Misfit is like a boy in a bubble.
Yeah, and literally.
Yeah.
Man, cool Kirby dots.
Oh yeah.
Cool machinery. Cool some kind of plane.
It looks like the Pogo plane, or no, it looks like the Fantastic car.
It's a hover jet, they call it. So, Misfit. Okay, so they escape. The humans, they escape the globe, and all these thousands of bats are in it. And Misfit, that's the germ free.
Right, and tracking site is a floating kind of. Or it's a building that can float into space. So it's floating off into space, and it's taking these bats with it, and Mordecocus and the Misfit all die together in space.
Yeah, and and the globe is sent so far out that um, the germ will have nothing to eat, so he'll die sooner or later. So,
Yeah.
Kind of cool.
Man, breezing right through that, but man, awesome issue.
I'm not sure what else to say about it. It's really great.
You're right.
Check out Kamandi. Yeah, it's good. It's sort of, it's hard to say good things about something. I mean, it's so much easier to criticize.
I know, at least for you.
Yeah,
I'm teasing.
No, but you're right. It is. It's more fun too. That's why watching a bad movie with a bunch of friends is more fun than watching a good movie. Because one thing you don't have to worry about, you can talk during the movie because it's a bad movie. Who cares?
Right.
And because you're not. A good movie will get you sucked in.
Right.
And if someone talking, will take you out of it. Bad movie will not suck you in, so you can just jibber jabber away and have a good time. Watching a bad movie in a bad neighborhood theater or a college theater is loads of fun.
I'll bet. So I do want us to talk about this series though a little bit. It's probably of all of the things that Kirby did at DC in the 70s, Kamandi ran the longest.
6-7 years, right?
Something like that. I mean, Kirby did the first 40 issues of this series, which is pretty long because everything else that he did at DC, I think, was like a dozen issues or less. I think the Demon ran longer too, but.
Wow, there was a whole series on the Demon?
Yeah.
I'll be darned. Okay.
And I can't. Yeah. So I think a lot of those other books didn't last too long, but he created a lot of different books. But yeah, he drew the first 40 issues of it and wrote the first 37. And then even after Kirby left, it ran for another 19 issues.
Yeah, I think we have a one where he's not writing it.
I think you're right, and I think we'll get to that. I think it's the last one we have, or it's the very last one that he wrote.
No. There's a letter saying that he's, or a blurb saying that someone else is going to write it next.
And I think it's Jerry Conway.
Okay.
Which is fine.
Okay. Let's go to the races.
Yeah. Let's see.
Kamandi does.
Kamandi number 13. It's Hell at Hylia? Anyway.
Really? I don't see the title.
Oh, I had to look it up online.
Okay.
Anyway,
okay. Right during the destruction, a scientist releases this. Oh, this is not in the comic book. I had to read this, but
okay.
Puts a serum that gives animals sentience.
Okay.
And is near a zoo, so all the zoo animals got it. But regular creatures like horses, I guess, did not, because they're riding horses. And you don't have a horse in a zoo. It's true. Mundane. Although you don't have rats either, but rats are everywhere. So
yeah.
What can you do?
Who knows? Maybe they got the serum from eating something. Eating somebody.
But he just poured the serum out into a river. So,
exactly. So I mean, yeah. So okay. So we don't see like pig men or cow men.
That'd be great.
But lots of big cats and big animals like bears and stuff. So Kamandi is basically being trained to be like a race jockey animal thing for the Sacker Company. And remember, Mr. Sacker is this big old snake. He's like the kingpin, but a snake.
Yeah. All right. Well, he is. Kamandi escapes, and then one of the audience picks him out and tells the security about him. And he's almost run over by horses. Oh, here we go. I can't pronounce that.
Hylia, I think. Hell at Hylia. But anyway.
Yeah. That's so well drawn. And so the race scenes are really cool. The creatures are really well dressed. He always has these square-toed boots. He likes that. I love the way he draws feet and boots. It's really cool. Especially
when you see him like somebody running or kicking something. It looks really powerful. There's this other human who's just kind of a knuckle knob, but he is...
Bull Bantam.
Yeah, Bull Bantam. He's like this prized animal, basically, for the Sacker Company. And he thinks he's going to compete with Kamandi for, if he wins this race, he's going to get this girl.
Yeah, Spirit.
Yeah, who is the sister of Flower,
Mm-hmm.
who was Kamandi's friend.
Yeah, and Flower died.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So they had these races, and the races, people were riding, and they're armed. So it's kind of, and they're throwing grenades.
Kind of like Death Race 2000.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know, I missed the Death Races when they came on. I don't think they're having them anymore.
Oh, man.
Man, it's kind of, I don't know. It's really weird living in science fiction years. 2001. We're supposed to be going to Jupiter, and 2000 we're supposed to have death races, and Space 1999. The moon's supposed to be out of here. And, 2013, and now we got some iPhone.
Yeah, it's kind of disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
So, but Kamandi, this is great. In an earlier issue, Kamandi went to this plateau where there were quote unquote devils, which are these big irradiated insects, and he's got a friend and companion. The devil, who is named Click Clack, who is a big old grasshopper.
Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah, I love Click Clack. And I had I think earlier issues that I read before where he met Click Clack, and it was really fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's not important. My Spirit is topless.
Yeah, but her hair always kind of covers it like,
it's always
like
covered,
Lady Godiva. And that's the way it was with Flower also.
Oh. Yeah, well,
come on, it's post-apocalyptic. They don't have brassieres. Come on.
Exactly.
So, I mean, whatever.
And they don't need them.
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah, Click Clack is not sentient. He is an animal.
Mm-hmm.
So that should be made clear.
Yeah, but you want to be on his good side.
He's a noble beast, I think,
Mm-hmm. And he can kick butt, too.
Yeah.
Oh,
kicking is about all he can do. Just jumping.
Hey, that's enough.
He's huge. So what happens is Kamandi and Click Clack are in the race, and they're doing really well.
Yeah, they escape, and then they have to go in the race, and then being shot at by tanks and flames and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. So it's big business gambling, betting on these races, too.
Yeah.
I love this house ad I want to stop and talk about, though. It's an ad for the 100-page super spectaculars for Batman and for the Witching Hour. And it's just a really cool ad.
Yeah, it is.
So, but yeah,
I'm not reading my my right notes. Yeah, Tweelers. They're riding these two-wheeled motorcycles.
Yeah, isn't that in the next issue?
No, it's in this one.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think. Yeah. Wait a minute. Am I? Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah. Oh man, Bull. What's his name? Bull Bantam.
Yeah.
He's a girl beater, which is really bad.
Yeah. So of course, Kamandi has to defeat him.
Mm-hmm. And he's called a girl beater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's just a swine.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. All right, but that's super awesomely fantastic.
Yeah. So big jump in the series. We move to Kamandi number 30, and this story is The Spy. Written and drawn by Jack Kirby and inked by D. Bruce Berry.
Huh.
So Ben, Boxer, and Kamandi are, I think, in space or something.
Yeah.
Or they're captured by some alien guy.
Right. And
it's cool. You see all this great outer space stuff and cosmic cube-looking things.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out what the hell was going on. They go to this planet, and there's a graveyard of cool stuff like locomotives and Assyrian statues and stuff we don't know what.
And ocean liners and stuff, and Japanese pagodas and things.
And then Tower of Pizza.
Oh yeah. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah. But pretty neato. So what is going on? Oh, there's this. I've seen this before. Johnny West wants to put you on his most wanted list, and these characters
The Johnny West, like this line of action figures or whatever, they're Western characters. And apparently there's a whole bunch. They show about 5 or 6 characters from it, but there's a whole mess of them.
That'd be cool. I'd like to see what they actually look like.
Yeah, it's all drawn, but the artist is none other than Jack Davis, who was best known for, well, he illustrated a lot of Tales from the Crypt for EC Comics.
And Mad.
Well, yes, and Mad. And he's still active today. Does a lot of sports caricatures and different things, trading cards. He's stayed active.
But, yeah, super well drawn.
But hasn't done comics since the 50s.
Oh, okay.
You know.
Yeah. So what is going? So they're going up. They look out and there's this huge vortex.
Yeah.
Full of Kirby dots, so you know it's something bad.
Yeah.
and a building is sucked up into it.
Yeah. Reminds me a little bit of that Fantastic Four story with Doctor Doom and the Submariner launched the Baxter Building into space with the anti-gravity stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, they start fighting the alien.
Yeah.
And they take off his head, and he's full.
He's just energy in a costume.
Right.
Like Wildfire from the Legion.
Mm-hmm. There was a cool ad for Beowulf, and I don't know where. Here, that's a Bible.
It was earlier.
Yeah, which was kind of interesting. I wonder if that's any good.
Yeah, I've got an issue, and
there
for,
it is.
it
looks well drawn.
Yeah, it's a house ad for Beowulf and for Stalker. They were doing a couple of more fantasy books at DC at the time, and we've got, I think, exactly one issue on Beowulf and one issue of Stalker in our upcoming stuff that we'll take a look at.
Yeah.
So we will look at those series. Stalker
cool.
was drawn by Steve Ditko and Wally Wood.
Oh man.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to checking that out.
Okay. Next one?
Yeah, so what is it? Kamandi number 34. And the story is Pretty Pyra. Written and drawn by Jack Kirby. Inked again by D. Bruce Berry.
Yeah, I think this is my my favorite one in the bunch.
Okay.
Yes, but has the greatest line ever in comics.
Oh.
But Dr. Canis. The alien is a girl. I love that. And what a girl. She's red-skinned with...
like fiery hair.
And fiery eyebrows. I mean, no, it's bright yellow.
Yeah. So yeah, Kamandi and Dr. Canis are in Dr. Canis' lab, and here's this alien entity who has just taken a humanoid form. Mm-hmm. And they name her Pyra, because she's like flame and elementalness embodied.
Yeah, but she'll be redhead because she's really fiery temperament.
Right.
She's really. They try to help her, and she doesn't want any help.
Right, but she has never had a physical form before, so she's got some adjusting to do.
Yeah, she's pretty dang mad. So.
Yeah.
Oh, so meanwhile, there's a naval battle going on. You don't see naval battles that much in
comics.
No.
Yeah, Prince Tufton is going to have a naval battle with these gorillas. Mm-hmm. Prince Tufton of the Tigers. And they've got some hostage thing going on. But Ben Boxer is aboard Prince Tufton's ship. And, Kamandi and Dr. Canis want to commandeer Pyra's spaceship to kind of help Tufton and Ben beat these apes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the apes got these little bitty boats, but they got this one big ram, and it is cool. And although, why don't you just get a battleship instead of a ram?
It's a comic book. Let's have something we've never seen before.
Although, and when battleships being made, they only thought, wow, well, in this one war between Austria and Italy, a battleship accidentally hit the enemy ship and sank it. So this, we need rams. So all the ships had rams since then for about 20 years, and they figured out it's a stupid idea, and they gave it up because they never rammed anybody again. Because you got this cannon can shoot 5 miles.
Well, right, and you ram another ship, you risk capsizing your own vessel.
So the point I was making, just because it looks foolish, doesn't mean it wasn't done.
Right.
So, and It is cool as all get off, though.
Yeah.
Little boats are pretty cool too.
Mm-hmm.
So they're about to fight, and they got who's the prisoner?
Oh, isn't he the captain or a member of the? He's an officer of the Apes crew.
Their leader.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. Man, Kirby. That's just sort of I can just drink it in.
Oh yeah. And I tell you, I think anything that Jack Kirby has drawn, these are the comics that I gravitate towards to reread.
Yeah, they're just super awesomely beautiful.
Yeah.
So here comes a big fight, and then they get Kamandi gets and Dr. Canis gets into the UFO, and they start buzzing around and trying to prevent them from fighting.
Yeah, and I think it works. They kind of scare the apes away.
Well, the apes are getting scared, but then all of a sudden, they're going to ram the UFO with a big ram, and here comes Pyra, and she is protecting her ship and blows the crap out of the ram.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. It's all that's left of it is Kirby dots.
Yep.
But she's ticked off because they stole her UFO.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Pretty cool, though.
Goodness, man, that is all goodness.
Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Yeah.
I need to break down and get. There's two nice big hardcovers, omnibus editions that collect the 40 issues that Kirby did on Kamandi. I wish they would do a trade with the other 19, just so you can have the whole series. But I need to get those because that's important to me.
Yeah.
And I'd love to sit and read the whole series, like, at one sitting. But what do we have? One more issue. Our last issue of Kamandi is number 37, and it's called The Crater People, written and drawn by Jack Kirby, inked again by D. Bruce Berry.
Yeah. Well, we have this herd of looks like people are walking to Woodstock and don't listen to music, which is kind of what it is because there's these rocks have speakers on them.
Yeah, and it's kind of luring them to this, this area where, it gets so weird. I forgot.
Oh, there are these bike riders.
Yeah, these are the people.
Trikes.
These are the people on Tweelers, I thought.
No.
Oh, these are trikes. Okay. But yeah, Kamandi kind of blends in with this group of people that are being led along, and then these bikers kind of come along and grab some people, which is part of their thing. And they're a weird society that ages super fast and becomes and grows to maturity very quickly.
5 years.
Yeah, and they only live like 5 or 6 years, and Kamandi is captured by these people, and I'll let you carry on a bit.
Okay. Well, I was going to mention there's a $6 Million Man ad.
Oh,
and $6 Million Man was I watched it when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And it was cool, and everybody was pretending to do all this stuff. All that stuff. Man, yeah.
And that $6 Million Man doll is a very highly sought after collectible.
And if I'd only known.
Right? You would have bought a gross of them.
Yeah. But where would I keep them?
Exactly.
And so
your mom probably would have threw them out when you went into the army.
Yeah. Actually, that happened with my dad. He had a chest full of Golden Age comics, and his uncle tossed them. And he was in the Navy.
That's so sad because that probably would have been worth a fortune.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason they're worth a fortune is because so many stories like that happened.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That and World War II paper drives and things. And the idea of a collectible hadn't really... That wasn't a thing that occurred to people just yet. And so all of that meant not too many copies got saved. Golden Age comics are valuable because they're scarce. So.
Yeah, it truly was a disposable society.
Yeah.
When my father's in the war's over, they just leave tanks and ships and anything they couldn't carry back.
Sure.
He just left it there.
Well, you remember the show The Rat Patrol?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, all the equipment they use in that movie were actual equipment that was left in Northern Africa, after World War II. So they were using authentic stuff.
Yeah, it's all American stuff, though.
Yeah.
M47 Freeze, I think, with the German tanks and all. Still, a tank is a tank. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
Great
you're
show.
not going to get a Panzerkampfwagen in 4 anywhere around.
Right.
They were blown up. That's why they lost the war.
Yeah.
Oh, man. But, so, Kamandi beats up a couple of the guys, steals a bike. There's some really cool chasing and all this.
Yeah,
and
for a kid, he is just really kicks a lot of butt.
Well,
He fights. He's always he never caves until he can't.
yeah. But he gets captured by the Red Riders. That's what they call themselves.
Yeah.
Not sure why that. They don't look red. But
I don't know. Had to call him something.
yeah. Well, one of the guys dies.
While Commandy's talking to him.
Yeah.
He just dies. And then Kamandi learns that, they only this guy looks like 40, and he's like 6 years old. And he goes into this meeting with these people, and there's like a baby who's talking like an adult, and it's weird.
Who's in charge?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they meet Arna, and I'm not sure, and that's really big because it's a big Arna exclamation point.
Because they want to mate Kamandi with Arna so that they'll carry on the longevity gene.
Yeah,
or something with it. So I don't know how that story arc plays out. Probably doesn't work out for the Red Riders.
Probably not. Everybody's okay. Sounds okay to me.
Yeah.
I'll do my bit. It's gonna be hard. It won't be pleasant, but all right. I'll do you this favor. And they always do this in the movie, but the hero is always says, no.
I couldn't possibly do that, but in real life, I'd be like, okay, right? Okay. What are you gonna complain about? I remember an EC comic story where these alien race, they needed men because all of their men had become sterile and then died, and they needed Earthmen to help them repopulate. And so they get a couple of guys who were like basically derelicts, they were like drifters, and brought these guys to their planet, and they got to have a good old time with a couple of gals, and they're all beautiful. Wally Wood drew this story, and so they're these all just gorgeous women, and basically that was the whole story. they got to mate, with these space women, and then got dropped back on Earth, and like, were we drunk? Did that really happen? Pretty sweet, whatever.
Was this one for Playboy or something back in the day?
No, it was for EC Comics. It was in like Weird Science or Weird.
That's kind of cool that there's no the end of the. Always.
The Comics Code Authority came in after that. Remember, because of EC Comics.
Right.
I mean, it wasn't like a pornographic story,
Right.
But it was very suggestive. Like, you know what's happening here.
It was pornographic in the minds of the readers, I'm sure.
Well, I mean, and if you ever seen a woman drawn by Wally Wood, and wow, they are Bava Vavumi.
Yes, they are.
So, but let's move on.
All right.
We've got Marvel Collector's Items Classics #5, and this is great. It's a reprint book in the Silver Age, reprinting, stories that are just a few years old, but they're modern classics in that sense. And in this issue, we got the Fantastic Four, we got Iron Man, we got the Hulk, we've got...
and we got an important story here, too. Thing meets Alicia.
That's right. But let's start off. We've got reprinted from Fantastic Four #8, Prisoners of the Puppet Master, written by Stan Lee with art by Jack Kirby. Who else?
Yeah. This is Fantastic Four plot. What I was going to do? I was going to read the splash page of the comic books, and I didn't do it this time because it wouldn't be appropriate for them, because you can't. But what I was going to do, I was going to write the plot just reading the first page.
Okay.
And see how wrong I was.
Yeah.
Kirby, no, I knew I couldn't do it that because it's going to get crazy.
Yes, it always gets crazy.
But I'm going to try it on some of them, just see what happens.
Okay.
But comic books, they usually go crazier, but a lot of times they're the same. I don't know. The older they are, the more predictable they are because they've been ripped off so much.
Sure.
We start with the Fantastic Four trope. they're trying to do Ben a favor, but they don't want to tell him. So Ben gets mad because they're hiding something from him. They get in an argument. This happens over and over and over and over.
Reed's working on something to try and cure Ben to make him human again, and Ben gets all mad. He's like, "Oh, I'm out of here. You treat me like Dracula's brother," which is great. I love that line.
That is cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Ben Grimm has like the best lines in comics. I mean, like comic books that are like intended like this is supposed to be funny, gang. You know, like Mad or something.
Yeah.
Like I don't really appreciate, but I can go read Silver Age Fantastic Four or Silver Age Superman stories, and I will laugh out loud. That's funny comics to me, and I love them and appreciate the stories too. But I love the great dialogue in Fantastic Four, and I love the weird things that happen to Superman or Jimmy in Superman stories. So
yep, yeah. I don't know. It's a different type of humor. It's clean and corny, but fun. And it's hard to put why is this funny? It's impossible to tell someone why this is funny.
It's funny because the dialogue rings true. It sounds like a real person would act in that situation. And
a lot of times they don't act like.
And this is why Marvel Comics became such a wonderful thing. Why people loved it, because it felt real. You know, Superman, you love Superman, you can idolize it, but the weird world that Superman lives in, it's so fantastical. It's too out of this world. Even though they try to put him in a largely very believable setting. Just add Superman,
right.
You know, and other weird elements of things that happen to Superman. But this is taking very real people put in very fantastical situations. It's an inversion of what DC would do. And it works beautifully.
Yeah, it is cool. So the Puppet Master, who is he? One of the ugliest villains of all time.
Yes, but he's a classic. Yeah, he's this ugly little guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got this radioactive clay that he uses to create puppets, and he just has voodoo dolls he can control people.
And he sent, that's a kind of a cool. I mean, it's not Puppet Master, but that'd be kind of a cool thing to do. But the way to do it is not like Puppet Master did it. They do it on the sly, have the bank teller draw out some money or something like that, and then give. But he ticks off the Fantastic Four,
Yeah, because it's supervillains. They feel like the world owes them something, and this ego drives them, and so they do these big, garish, moves, and that's why they lose. They get caught, but also it creates them doing these big, bold plots or schemes. It gives us a reason to care. It gives us a reason like, wow, is this going to be the one guy that the Fantastic Four can't overcome? Right. Let's find out, Now,
the one I was making, it sounds goofy and cornball, but that'd be actually a really cool villainous thing to have. If I want to be a villain, I would think about Puppet Master.
Sure.
But it does sound goofball, and he is a goofball, and he's kind of stupid. Man, and he is ugly.
Yeah. So what's his scheme? What's he want? He just wants to destroy the Fantastic Four?
I think so.
They haven't done anything to him.
Yeah. So man, he's.
Oh, is it to show the world that he is really?
Oh yeah.
The master of awesome sauce or whatever.
There's a great scene where he's in charge of everything. That's sort of. But if he took his time, he could have make some more money. And I don't know.
Yeah. He's got a lot of imagination. I'll give him that.
Yeah, man. I'd get his face fixed, man. Grow a beard and put a wig on. Jeez.
He's this bald little geek with a huge mouth. And, yeah, he's just goofy looking.
Yeah. So he controls Ben. And Sue follows him. And then Alicia, who we see for the first time.
Who is the Puppet Master's stepdaughter. She's blind.
But she can sense or hear 2 heartbeats. What was it that
she could tell somebody else is in the room because she doesn't see people all the time, so she can
sense. So
somehow.
She has a superpower.
I don't know. I think it's just the fictional iteration of blind folks. I don't think she really has superpowers. That
Oh.
she can just kind of tell, oh, somebody else in the room. She could hear breathing or, footsteps or just things like that. Things that you wouldn't pick up on because you have all of your senses.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. Well, not much of.
I wonder if
all
she
of-
ever met Daredevil.
Ooh, that's possible. But
Oh, I bet they did. In A Blind Man Shall Lead Them, which we will talk about very soon.
oh, okay.
I,
So the gas, Puppet Master gases the joint.
with ether,
Yeah.
but he puts on gas masks.
Why didn't she put on a force field? Wouldn't the force field keep out the? Or it was too late, I guess.
It's either she hasn't quite developed the force field thing yet because this is only the 8th issue of the Fantastic Four. She just turned invisible. And then she kind of developed the force fields and being able to make kind of rudimentary constructs with it beyond just turning herself or other things invisible.
Mm-hmm. So Puppet Master makes Alicia look like
Sue.
And that's kind of
I don't know how that fools Reed and Johnny for a minute though, because that's Reed's woman and Johnny's sister. She might look somewhat like her, but
yeah, I think that it doesn't fool Reed.
oh, okay. Oh, but when they crash back into the laboratory, Ben, still under the control of the Puppet Master, smashes some of Reed's equipment, and he's splashed with this chemical, and it's the stuff that Reed was working on. And it turns him back to Ben Grimm, briefly. And this breaks the Puppet Master's control over Ben.
Right. So then the Puppet Master releases all the prisoners, which is a pretty cool idea.
In prison.
In prison.
Yeah.
And then they go off and cause chaos. And he should be doing something now and deduce and get out of his apartment where they know where he lives.
Right.
And he should be, this would be a great diversion where the Fantastic Four and all the police are going to the prison. But he's just hanging around.
See, and that's why he's an ineffectual villain.
Mm-hmm.
A smart villain would, yes, create a diversion. Do you remember that issue of Kona, Monarch of Monster Isle, where there was that mole guy that sponsored a parade that was going on, and then while the parade was going on, he was going to dig under banks and stuff and steal all the money?
Yeah.
See, that's a good plan.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a crappy comic book. This is the Fantastic Four.
Right.
Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, it's... Oh, well.
Yeah.
It's still cool.
It is cool.
Great prison riot scenes.
Yeah. I love when Ben just, crumbles a wall or pushes it back up.
And I love Johnny Torch melting through stone. It is just cool as all get out.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. And you see guys, shoot at Mr. Fantastic, and you see, the bullets kind of bounce not quite through him, and then he flexes and shoots them back at him, which is neat.
Yeah. So here, his Puppet Master is daydreaming. And
about being king of the world and stuff.
Yeah, having all these generals feed him. And then he's in his chariot, Puppet Master Rex, and the Fantastic Four is pulling his chariot. Oh. So Alicia finds out he's evil.
Mm-hmm.
And they get in a fight. She grabs his
puppet.
I don't know, why does he have a puppet of himself as king?
Not smart.
Yeah. And then, but why have it? Period. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, here's me as a, I'm king of the world. Oh God. But they fight, and he goes after the puppet, and he trips and falls out the window.
Yeah. And so it's really weird. Did the voodoo or whatever make him fall to his death?
Oh yeah, we'll never know.
Yeah, except we will, because he didn't really die. But because he was a recurring Fantastic Four villain for years.
Yeah.
But
man, it's hard to kill a villain.
Yeah, especially a little guy falling out a window. Come on.
Yeah, that's kind of not very satisfying. Well, I can't say at the time they thought, oh, we'll think of another villain. Ooh, we need another villain. We killed that one. They'll bring him back to life.
Well, yeah. I mean, you can always think oh, well, a sand truck was driving by at just that moment or whatever. Or who knows.
it'd be great to be a fly on the wall when some of these things were thought of,
Yeah, it would.
and it'd be interesting.
Yeah.
All right,
So
we have,
next we've got Iron Man in Trapped by the Red Barbarian from Tales of Suspense number 42, written by Stan Lee and Robert Bernstein, with art by Dazzlin' Don Heck.
yeah, that's great. Puppet Master was written in the year I was born,
Yeah.
1962, and this was written in 1963.
Yeah.
This is what people were thinking, when I was born. It was a different world.
Yeah. So what's going on with Iron Man?
Oh, he's fighting commies.
Yes.
I don't know why they are not as good as Nazis and not as interesting. But they're just as bad in real life. And the Soviet Union was a horrible place to live.
Yeah.
And so was Nazi Germany. There's not a dime's worth of difference between them for me.
I mean, I always enjoy these stories where they fight the commies and they say like, "Ooh, let's get that rat commie,"
Right.
like whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Yeah, but we like it because it's kind of kitschy and it rings false. It doesn't. I don't know.
Well, here's the thing: the commies were the enemy of America during my lifetime. The Nazis. It's like this fantasy land. Like I know it was real, but it's so far before my time.
Mm-hmm.
Commies. It's like, oh, I have like a thing. There are commies today.
Right.
They're just not our enemies. Exactly.
Oh,
Not exactly.
No,
Not exactly.
Koreans.
Well, right, but we're not like in a Cold War with them. It's
Yeah, we are.
okay. That's
We're
another
not-
conversation. But
yeah, we're not fighting them now. It's not. Well, we're not worried about North Korea destroying the world. We're worried about them blowing up a city or two.
right. But I don't know. There's some connectivity to our own lives with the commies are the enemy, and so I don't know. Not to bash on the awesomeness of using Nazis as villains, but that seems a little more comic booky, if you will. Like it's a little more fantastical to have your enemy be Nazis than commies.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know. I think their uniforms are better. I think that's one of the reasons they make such great villains.
Nazis.
They look good.
Yeah, no, they're very cool uniforms. I'll say that. And
I think that was one of the major reasons. I really do. The aesthetics of it, and they had a lot of whatever German Broadway is. It's theater people designing the uniforms and all that. And it still sounds silly, but I think that's it. Plus, because they're evil, and plus the hugeness of their evil, and you can see it. We can go to Auschwitz. We saw the pictures. The Soviet Union's gulags. There's no pictures. There's no rooms full of baby shoes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so we will not see that, and that's another thing. So.
Right.
All right. But he's kicking commie butt.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah. Oh, he was gray at first, Iron Man.
Yes.
Then he turned yellow. Now he's yellow and red.
Then he became the Golden Avenger. After his first couple of adventures, he painted himself gold, and then wasn't maybe a year or something like that. He became the yellow and red, which is basic. Ever since it's been mostly variations on that yellow and red. But yeah.
Yeah. Cool. I'm not a fan of the way it looked before, but I don't know. But that's because I knew what came afterwards. I guess
maybe. I mean, if it's 1963, you probably pick this up and think it's the coolest thing ever.
Exactly.
Wow, a guy in an electric suit of armor.
Yeah, and his suit is not magnetic.
They can't magnetize it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he uses magnets to like trap a spy ring or something, right?
And yeah. Yeah, they get their guns. And if you let go, you'll fall into the dock.
So anyway, this commie general or whatever, he hires this guy, actor, who's an actor, to impersonate Tony Stark and infiltrate Stark Industries.
He gets this disintegrator ray, which can destroy about anything.
Yeah.
And the what's his name? Who is he? It's the Red Barbarian.
Yeah.
He's eating, and then he throws his meat, and we see the end of the
ham.
Ham, and all the marbling. There's kind of no reason to do that except it's cool, and that's That's one thing I like about comics. They'll throw in little details for the hell of it, just to make it look better. You didn't need that.
No.
Yeah. So then he smacks somebody with the what was it, the ham, and then he's visited by Khrushchev, which is great.
But Khrushchev is actor in disguise, and he sells himself on the Red Barbarian as, hey, look, I can be useful to you. And so he sends...
I can look like you.
Yeah. And so he says, look, go and be Tony Stark and get this disintegrator array plans from Stark's factory. So that's what he's going to do.
Yep.
So he heads to Los Estados Unidos.
And then he comes back. I mean, goes in and steals the plans, and then he leaves. He got some guards dressed up like Stark guards, and they try to kill Iron Man, but Iron Man's wearing his suit.
Yeah, so under the suit, right?
So he kicks their butts, finds out what's going on, gets in the rocket, and meets the actor and intercepts him.
Yeah. And so then he goes as Tony Stark to see the Red Barbarian, and the guy thinks it's the actor.
Mm-hmm.
And then he beats that guy and bails, and then the actor shows up, and the Red Barbarian kills him. But Red Barbarian, in the course of all this, learned that Tony Stark was Iron Man. But the Red Barbarian had him shot before he could reveal it.
The actor did, yeah. The actor found it, yeah. And he was trying to tell... And he thought the actor came and told him what's going on, and he thought he was lying.
Yeah.
So he has him shot when he's trying to tell him who Iron Man is.
Yeah.
Not a good move.
Yep. But a kind of a pretty cool plot twist.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So that's an okay story. So here's a fun one. It's from the Tales of the Watcher series from Tales of Suspense number 50. And the story is called Journey's End. It's written by Stan Lee and Larry Lieber. Art by Larry Lieber and Saul Brodsky.
Yeah. I just had the idea when I was reading this that we are the Watcher. We know what's going on. We see everything.
We cannot interfere.
Right.
Yeah, very good.
So it's kind of... Although I'm bald, but I'm not that bald.
I just read, I think it's Fantastic Four number 13 or 17. It's an early issue of Fantastic Four, and it's the first appearance of the Watcher. That's also the story where they meet the Red Ghost, and it's the FF and the Red Ghost. They go to the moon and they fight on the moon, and they meet the Watcher, and it's super cool. It might be my favorite issue of Fantastic Four.
Yeah. This is written for nerdy teenagers.
Yeah.
Because there's a kid here who is kind of homely, and they're being picked on by these nasty classmates who's making fun of him.
Yeah.
And pretending to, it's girls pretending to like him. Oh, man, it's kind of mean. But she's kind of feels bad as she's doing that. But he's one of the other girls says, how could any girl in her right mind be attracted to a mouse like Wilbur Weems?
Yeah, and so later Wilbur goes into like the Space Cadets program or something.
He is in the Space Cadets,
yeah,
I guess.
And then he volunteers for some mission that nobody else wants to go on because it's dangerous. Yeah.
There's this cloud, radioactive cosmic dust, and people are concerned about it. So
he flies through it.
Yeah.
And it turns him into kind of a hunk.
Yeah.
He looks like he gets all big and buff, and he turns into a handsome guy, and then he goes to this planet of like beautiful chicks, and like it's a paradise.
Yeah, and they just wanted to, you just want to have a heroic person. It was kind of like a trap or invitation to Earth people to send somebody to find out what's going on and want to check it out.
Mm-hmm.
So he's all happy. Everybody's happy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So the people of Earth are like, good, we got rid of Wilbur Weems. Who cares? And then he gets to like be like somebody important and have a real place where he's valued.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Yeah. Although I don't know. I'm kind of torn whether they should have had him turn handsome. If they just made him look right, and they gave him, buffer body, that's fine. But you really can't do anything about your looks unless you do. So, And I
Well,
think
look,
it may
if
have been
Cos-
a better,
Uh-huh.
you know, the girls are so like you if you look.
But here's the
Like,
thing: if this is think about it, like when you're a kid, when you're like young teenager, okay,
mm-hmm,
sometimes it's a real gawky period, and you're like goofy looking and whatever.
mm-hmm,
But sometimes then you kind of get into your 20s and you kind of grow into yourself, and you don't look
mm-hmm,
so bad.
yeah.
It's kind of like it gets better.
Oh, my gawky period lasted 50 years.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
But it's a nice story.
Yeah. So let's see what we've got. Oh, from our next story is a Doctor Strange. It's the return of the omnipotent Baron Mordo from Strange Tales number 114, written by Stan Lee, with art by sturdy Steve Ditko.
Yeah. This is one of the very first. I mean, it's not the first one. That's in Strange Tales 110. So this is Strange Tales 114. So
It's a pretty early Doctor Strange.
yeah,
Uh,
but it's
I don't like Baron Mordo though.
Return of the Omnipotent Baron. Well, if he's omnipotent, he can't be beat.
Right. I mean,
That's all powerful.
it's like they're just using a word. Like, do you really know what that means?
Yeah.
So, but it sounds good for a story. Like, oh, that Baron Mordo, how are they going to beat him?
Yeah. So they get. He pretends to be this Clive Bentley. I wonder if he's English.
Mordo?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Clive Bentley.
Okay.
And so then Mordo. I'm making a joke.
Oh, right.
What more British name is Clive Bentley? Oh, but as Mordo pretending to be Clive Bentley, so he invites him to his house and tries to kill him with candles, which is it's some kind of weird candles that make this smoke that kills. Yeah, and Doctor Strange looks a lot older and wickeder.
Yeah, he almost Asiatic looking too.
Mm-hmm.
But this is early. It's before he got his cloak of levitation, and he has his original amulet, not the Eye of Agamotto, which he would get later.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's really early.
Yeah, but he calls his chick and comes down and puts out the candles. The end. Oh, then Mordo comes by and and they have a little fight. And I think Doctor Strange wins. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that's perfectly fine. So the next and last story in this issue is Gladiator from Outer Space from Incredible Hulk number 4, written by Stan Lee, art by Jack Kirby. Who could ask for anything more?
Yeah. We're still in the early ages, so people picking up the magazine may not know Hulk is Bruce Banner.
Right.
And vice versa.
Indeed.
So, a UFO comes to Earth, and a guy comes to I am Mongu, and he wants to fight the Earth's biggest, best fighter.
Yeah.
Gladiator type thing.
He's got his big old axe and stuff with him. He looks pretty imposing.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, do you remember that not too long ago, that one where we read where the Hulk teamed up with Dr. Druid? Oh. And they were on that asteroid with that wizard, and the guy Mongu was his henchman. It's a nod to this. I won't spoil the plot of this, but
that's a job for me. That's
yes.
My job to spoil them. So Hulk comes out, and Hulk is kind of is intelligent but really surly. He's another Ben Grimm.
Yeah, he's kind of different early on, and he's got a machine that he can use to turn himself into the Hulk when he wants to.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool.
But not as cool as getting angry.
Right. And, well, they stopped doing this after not long, so he obviously lost control of it.
So Mongu confronts Hulk, and Hulk grabs his battle blade and his paper mache. And it's actually a bunch of commie trap.
Yeah, Mongu's chest opens up, and there's just a commie inside. It was all a trick. And so Hulk beats the crap out of these communists.
Yeah,
I don't know why they thought they could beat him.
I don't know either. They had a big cannon, but it didn't sound cannon, but it didn't work too good. So it never does.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. You see Hulk's hand reaching through the spaceship
and grabbing a guy. That's awesome. Just hands bursting through the walls. Just the hands through the floor and getting him.
And a cool ship they had, no more. And then the helicopter comes, tries to pick him up, and
Hulk takes all of their belts away and ties them up in a big bundle of guys, and then like sends them off with the helicopter.
All right. And then the army checks it out, and it looks like they don't see anybody's footprints but the Hulk's, which I find hard to believe.
And so the press blames it all, says it's all a hoax by the Hulk.
Oh, man. That was unneeded. I did not like that part. I thought that was stupid.
Okay.
It's
very J. Jonah Jameson to have that headline.
Yeah.
To put that spin on
it. It's okay if J. Jonah Jameson was on it, but there's... Yeah, that could have been done better.
Sure.
Okay. But it was still cool.
Yeah, that was. So we've got another issue of Marvel Collector's Items Classics, and it's issue number 6. And our lead story reprints Fantastic Four number 9, and it's the end of the Fantastic Four, written by Stan Lee, art by Jack Kirby.
Oh, this is awesome too. I just noticed that we have. Okay, we begin the comic book with Namor watching TV on the world's coolest TV set.
Yeah.
And it looks like the screen is movable the way they got it. Maybe because it's kind of skewed.
Yeah, it's weird.
Man, it's got tentacles coming out of it. Yeah. It was awesome. I did not notice this when I was reading it, but it has a framed picture of Sue
Storm. Yeah. So
Yay.
The Submariner, he's in love with Sue Storm, and she's
kind of interested.
Yeah, she is.
Mm-hmm.
So he gets wind that the Fantastic Four are broke, and so he hatches a plot. Well,
I like that they can go broke, and although it's stupid, we should have a better accountant.
Yeah, well, it's issues that okay, he's got quite an intellect, but it's not for money. Mm-hmm. It's for science.
Right.
I love this story. This is so much fun.
Yeah.
So there's all these creditors coming and bugging the Fantastic Four, like, we want our money, Richards.
Yeah, he put his money in stocks. He should have just diversified.
Yeah.
Dummy.
And so they have to sell the pogo plane and stuff. And
Thane can't get a ride from a taxi because the taxi cab heard that they're out of money. So
he picks it up and skewers it on a lamppost.
Well, not just a lamp, a clock.
Oh, okay, one of those.
Clock
okay.
Post, and so. But he goes back to Alicia. And she says she calms him down. So he comes back and they going to get together and I don't know.
Yeah,
paint the barn and let's have a show or something like that.
Yeah, do something. Yeah.
They got a
hitchhike to somewhere
to get to Hollywood because somebody offered them money, $1 million
make a movie.
To get a movie.
So they get to Hollywood, and I love this. And you see all these Hollywood stars here. We see, I don't know who this cowboy is supposed to be.
Oh, James Arness from Gunsmoke.
Okay.
And Miss Kitty from Gunsmoke.
Okay, and we see Alfred Hitchcock.
Who is that supposed to be?
I don't know who that is, but I think there's Bing Crosby and Bob Hope, and I think that's either Jackie Gleason or Jack Benny.
Nope.
That's got to be Jackie Gleason.
Then. I think it's somebody else.
Somebody calls him
Jack.
So it's got to be Jackie Gleason because I looked at it. And I thought
must be.
I looked at it and I thought it was Lou Costello, but I was like, no, it's got to be Jackie Gleason. So anyway,
cool.
They see some Hollywood stars, and then the Fantastic Four go to meet the movie producer, and lo and behold, it's Namor, the Submariner.
Yeah, and he's all dressed up he's smoking a cigarette in a cigarette holder, which is always a sign of evil.
Yeah.
Which makes me want to get a cigarette holder.
Yeah, like the Penguin, the Red Skull, they all smoke cigarettes on a cigarette holder.
Every East European count or something.
Or countess.
Yeah.
Didn't
Natasha.
Boris? Yeah, I was gonna say Natasha from Boris and Natasha. Yeah.
Which are great.
Yeah.
The Soviet, I think Pravda said that they're America's best anti-communist propaganda. Boris and Natasha.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Who said that?
Pravda.
Pravda?
Yeah, the Soviet Union paper.
Oh, okay.
Newspaper. It means the truth, I think. Or news.
Whatever it means.
Vestia and Pravda. One's the news, one... Okay.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So apparently Namor is rich as Croesus, as they say. Oh, so he starts handing out money, and they're happy because Johnny buys a car.
Of course.
Hey, I'm bankrupt. I got some money. I'll buy a car, a fancy sports car, which looks really cool. He's hanging out with girls.
Mm-hmm.
Ben's at the beach, and people are showing off, so he has to show them off more.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. He picks up a bunch of muscle men and throws them in the ocean.
Yeah. So they start doing the movie, and they quickly realize that each of them are separated to do a specific super feat or something like that. But it's all a trap because Namor, he lured them with the money, but really it's his opportunity to destroy the Fantastic Four one by one.
Not a bad plot.
No, it's good.
He should have kept the eyes. That's the problem with villains. Okay, this is sure to kill them, so I'm gonna go off and have coffee.
Right. Or like having them all tied up and like, look, instead of just shooting you, I'm gonna tell you my whole plan and then leave this elaborate thing to kill you while I leave. Yeah.
But what else can you do? It'll be a quick movie.
Yeah.
No chance for sequels. All right, first, Mr. Fantastic gets sent to fight this robot Cyclops, who's not a robot. It's a real Cyclops. Pretty mean, nasty looking.
Yeah.
And he squishes him with a rock, but being squished is Reed's thing.
Yeah, he just kind of squirms out from under it like no big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of cool.
Yeah. The guy throws a big rock at him. He slings it back as a slingshot and ticks off the Cyclops. Cyclops chases him.
And falls in a hole.
Yeah, Reed trips him, falls into a hole, and that's it. And then Johnny Torch gets sent to this African tribe who are immune to fire.
Which is ridiculous. But I guess they take a potion or herb extract that makes them immune to fire. I realize it's so we can have a story.
Well, also, you're talking about a guy who can stretch and the guy who's a thing. And the
right.
It's...
I know.
Now, okay, is it stupid? Well, they're going off into people firewalking and all that.
Sure.
And it is exaggerating it. Yeah, it's not... I don't know. It's not Stephen Hawking's, but it's...
It'll work. It'll
work. Now, it's kind of cool drawings. I like these stone casks they have for the liquid.
Yeah. For this fireproof liquid, yeah.
And, so, Johnny can only torch on and fly for a little bit.
Yeah, because he gets exhausted.
And they catch him because he does get exhausted. Then he breaks out a bamboo cage, which is not a bright idea on their part.
Right.
And he makes a bunch of himself. And he goes, hey, well, my fire won't mess him up, but I bet molten lava will. But I don't know, molten lava is just hotter fire.
Well, yeah, but fire is a certain temperature, okay?
Yeah. So I guess,
but then molten lava is like that to like the nth degree. Like, it's really hot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you step in that and you lose your foot or you die. It's just that hot.
Mm-hmm.
But you can walk on coals and like, ow, you burn your feet, but you're going to live. Right. So it's a different extremity of temperature.
Yeah. Well, he showed them.
Yeah.
So what is Ben's trap? It is simply that...
Submariner's going to fight him on the beach.
Right. That's it.
And Submariner's like, well, look, I'm by the water, so of course I'm going to win. This is the source of my power.
Yeah, but Ben
drags him inland and starts wailing on him.
Mm-hmm. And then there's a thunderstorm breaks out, and the thing is struck full force by a supercharged bolt of lightning. He turns back into Ben Grimm.
And then Namor socks him and knocks him out cold.
Yeah. And he's all bragging that he defeated the Thing, but
not really.
Yeah, that's kind of cheating.
Yeah, it was a twist of fate that allowed you to defeat him.
Yeah, it's beneath Namor. Namor has more class than that.
Yeah.
And I'm disappointed. you expect that from the Red Skull or somebody.
Yeah, to do something underhanded like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he didn't do anything underhand except beat him up.
But to gloat over it, yeah, to crow over it. You're right.
And
so then Namor just goes to see Sue, like, hey, you're gonna be my wife now, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, what? You don't just tell me that, you know?
Yeah.
So
yeah, they get into a fight, and they pretty bad, and all of a sudden, the rest of the Fantastic Four comes and kicks his butt.
Yeah, they overpower Namor, but then he, true to his word, he gives them the money,
which is cool. I like a villain with honor.
Yeah,
and makes it interesting.
Namor
and I think you could use that a lot. And I think it's a good story point. And then you can use if they're just villainous, you can't do anything. You can't negotiate.
Well, right. Dr. Doom, like for instance, has his own sense of honor and nobility, and that's you can play off of that. I mean, as much as I like the Red Skull, yeah, he's going to be just evil and despicable to the nines every time.
Yeah.
So, but Namor, he's such an anti-hero. I mean, you know, is he really a villain? You know,
he gets more heroic, I think, doesn't he?
Yeah, and then I think he eventually became an Avenger.
A surly one, but
yeah, of course. He's always surly. That never goes away. He's Namor, man.
Yeah.
So we've got another one, another Iron Man story in this. It's called Iron Man vs. Kala, Queen of the Netherworld, from Tales of Suspense number 43. And it's written by Stan Lee and Robert Bernstein, with art by Jack Kirby and inked by Don Heck. In fact, the Heck inking made me look at it and think it was Heck penciling.
Oh.
Not a great fit with Jack Kirby because it just doesn't really scream Kirby.
No, I don't.
But it'll do, pig.
Yeah, yes, it will. Something goes on and starts. There was an accident with something, and so Iron Man comes and fixes it. And then, after he's done, he says, I'm going to take off my Iron Man suit. Nothing more is going to happen today. Famous last words.
Right.
So, and all of a sudden, he's talking to these people, and they start disappearing. He disappeared into the netherworld.
Which isn't like another dimension of evil spirits or anything like you would think. It's a subterranean city.
Ruled by a beautiful but evil queen. Kayla. She's kind of cool. Well-drawn equipment. I love that. That's the Kirby-esque portion of it, I think. So they want to... they're in Atlantis. Atlantis sunk to the center of the earth, apparently. So they want to go back. So they want Tony Stark. If Tony Stark doesn't do what they tell him, they'll kill everybody. But she wants to go up to the real world.
To the surface and take over, conquer. And her men are like, I don't know, because they don't think they could win. Yeah,
the generals say, I don't know. I don't like being treated. I don't like being bossed around by a woman.
Oh boy, you wouldn't have that story element happen today.
Yeah, or not put that way anyway.
No.
So this is one of Tony Stark's tricks. Leave me alone in this laboratory, and I'll get what you want. But I really make an Iron Man suit. So he makes another Iron Man suit.
Yeah. And then he goes and he kicks butt.
Yeah. Oh, there's this cool flame tank. That just one of the most awesome things
And it's
ever.
this huge thing. It just...
What? It's just as big as a mall almost. Not that big, but it's...
It's about as big as 5 tanks in real life. It's huge.
I mean... The flame where the flame portal where the flame comes out is you can stand upright in it.
Yeah, it's massive. So
a tall man could stand.
Yeah.
So he but Iron Man has no trouble with it. He's kind of contemptuous of all this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that's Tony Stark for you.
Yeah. So he fixes. He takes up he takes Kayla and takes her up to the surface. and she gets old. She don't like that, so he takes her back down, gets her married. She's cool. Everyone's cool.
Yeah.
And so
yeah, she turned back to young and beautiful again when she back to the underworld. And so yeah, that was kind of the end of that.
Yep, it's pretty cool.
So we got some Doctor Strange too. We've got Return to the Nightmare World from Strange Tales number 116, written by Stan Lee, with art by Steve Ditko.
Pretty cool. Although I really don't like magic stuff. It's sort of, I don't understand the mechanics of it, and all this is, well, I will do the spell of my nunu and fix everything. And I said, well, why did you do that in the first dang place? And it's just really, I don't.
Dude, I totally get it.
Yeah.
I mean, Doctor Strange, I like him, but I kind of get bored with him. Like, I like him as a supporting character in other stuff more than like his own solo things. But yeah, magic, it's like, yeah, you can just, I'll just use this spell and just do this thing.
And just make up something, and then, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, they do. Superman does this too, and he's got a new sense, but it does it rarely, and there's a physics behind it, even though it's
even a fake science with some contrived explanation has an explanation. This is just like, I just made some more magic stuff happen.
Yeah.
And beat him or something. I tricked him. It's like, oh.
Yeah.
So I get it. It's kind of a drag doing magic things.
But it's really, really cool, and the cartoonists have a ball.
Yeah, drawing magic stuff, I get it. It's fun. But yeah, anyway, Doctor Strange fights Nightmare, who is the ruler of the Nightmare dimension or something.
Yeah, and it's nightmarish.
Yeah,
too.
And he's a real creep.
Yeah.
He gets into people's minds, and he just has his bad dreams, and he lives in this weird ethereal plane with all the kinds of magical weirdness floating around, big cobwebs and
a spiny creature, the touch will kill you. So.
But Doctor Strange tricks it into killing his own monster. Which pisses Nightmare off.
Yeah, and
was that it?
Yeah, we got I don't know. That's about it. What can you say about it? I'm not going to explain all that magical crap.
That's fine.
I'll leave that to Houdini or somebody if he ever comes back.
So we've got the Incredible Hulk. From Incredible Hulk number 5, we have Beauty and the Beast, written by Stan Lee, with art by Jack Kirby, inked by Dick Ayers. And this is pretty cool.
Yeah, we got Miss Betty Ross, Incredible Hulk, and Tyrannus. I wonder if he's a good guy or a bad guy.
Who? Tyrannus?
Yeah.
With a name like that, I mean, he's got to be a sweetie pie.
Yeah. Man.
Tyrannus is a leader of yet another subterranean civilization.
Yeah,
Like how you'd think like the Mole Man and Kala and this guy would be just bumping into each other like all the time.
That'd be it'd be kind of a cool comic to have everything together and it'd just be how complicated the world would be. Yeah.
I did read something that explained like the two different Atlantises in DC comics. There's Poseidonus and Tritonus, and one of them was the ones that became mer people like Lori Lamaris, and the other ones that developed gills like Aquaman. Oh. It's two different cities of Atlantis, Tritonus and Poseidonus. So that was kind of interesting.
All right. Well, this might be important issue here.
Okay.
We're watching video, or somebody's not video. I guess it's Super 8 or 8mm projection.
Okay.
Maybe it's 60mm. It's the military after all.
Yeah.
They're watching the maniacal Hulk and seeing he's just busting up stuff, destroying buildings, catching artillery shells. So they're Ross. What is he, Colonel or General?
General Thunderbolt Ross.
Yeah, he is asking Bruce Banner to catch the Hulk. So I guess it's the first of their conjoining,
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's Hulk number 5, so it's like the 5th Hulk story. So.
And Betty likes Bruce.
Not
sure why.
Even though Thunderbolt thinks he's a milksop. Well, he's kind of right, but.
Yeah. Oh, and who's the little kid?
Rick Jones, remember?
Rick Jones.
Rick Jones is Dr. Banner's assistant.
Mm-hmm.
So Tyrannus shows up, and I guess he wants to conquer the surface or some crap. And he shows up and pretends
got a Lego helmet or something. Yeah, that is something. I mean,
it looks like a Roman centurion hat, but he shows up on he shows up on the surface world in normal clothes, and he thinks he's gonna woo Betty and hey, come do this whatever with me. But it's a trick to try and find the Hulk or something.
Yeah, Betty. I mean, she's cute and all that stuff, but I never thought her beautiful. Worthy of all this attention.
Well, you got to have some kind of love interest, and for a geek like Bruce Banner, she's probably like, woo.
Yeah. And in real life, yeah, she'd be a cute girl. So,
yeah.
But someone trying to conquer the world for her.
Yeah. So
the Hulk follows him down, and there's some really cool stuff.
Tyrannus has this weird smoke machine or gas or something. He gasses the Hulk.
Yeah.
And we know the Hulk's vulnerable to gas.
Mm-hmm.
So he knocks the Hulk out, but he's going to make the Hulk fight some dudes in an arena or a robot.
Really cool. I didn't like the robot, but I just noticed how big the robot was compared.
Yeah.
And Tyrannus has this huge sculpture of a bust of himself that's even bigger than the robot.
Oh, man.
And the robot's 3 times bigger than Hulk.
Yeah. But it's cool. Tyrannus has made Hulk wear this like gladiator gear, and he looks really cool, actually.
Yeah.
But then Hulk kicks the crap out of this robot. And
well, I don't know.
It takes a while for the Hulk to fight him.
The robot is. I mean, you don't hear Hulk say "yuff" and "ugh" and "oof" a lot.
Well, yeah, the robot spins around real fast, and then like wraps like cords around Hulk and like hits him with a battering ram out of his chest.
Sucker punch. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's actually a ram's head.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Okay, that's a little much, but it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And so they enslave the Hulk. He's got to dam the flood and pull these huge statues. But Rick Jones comes and rescues him.
Oh, yeah, because Tyrannus enslaved the Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
And
because if the Hulk didn't do what he said, he'd kill Betty.
Right. But then Rick Jones tricks him and gets them all out.
And does a Samson.
Oh, yeah.
He pushes pillars and brings down the whole kit and caboodle.
Well, okay.
Kind of cool.
Yeah, it is.
The Hulk is kind of mean, though. But it's
Yeah. So we've got, right now, Marvel Double Feature, number 18, which is another reprint book. And the lead story is If This Be MODOK from Tales from Suspense, number 94. And it's a Captain America story written by Stan Lee with art by Jack Kirby and inked by Joe Sinnott.
Yeah.
Cap is the prisoner of AIM, Advanced Idea Mechanics.
Yeah, MODOK.
Yeah, and MODOK.
MODOK.
This is the first appearance of MODOK, too.
Oh.
And he's got a giant head and little body and a floating chair.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got kind of mind powers and
he's
stuff.
He's like the Misfit, but even bigger and uglier.
Yeah.
Looks very much like him.
Yeah, although I think MODOK predates the Misfit. In fact, I'm certain of it.
Yeah. In comic book time.
Yeah.
That is kind of a creepy, ugly, baby-looking thing. Works. Oh. MODOK this is kind of okay. Cap is with another S.H.I.E.L.D. agent.
Yeah.
Who is cute.
I think that's Sharon. I think it's Agent 13.
Oh, yeah.
So,
okay. I would conquer the world for Agent 13. Betty Ross, no.
Yeah.
But I'd send the armies to get me Agent 13. So.
Okay.
But then I might ask nicely first instead of conquering stuff. Okay.
Like, want to go to the movies?
They never do that first. They always cut to the chase. They know what the answer is going to be.
Right.
All
He's
right.
like, I'm Captain America. Of course she's going to say yes. Let me fight all these supervillains first.
All right. An interesting subplot is,
Okay.
well, maybe it is the plot, is that his minions,
Oh, the AIM guys in the beekeeper suits.
they don't like MODOK.
No, they don't trust him. And
so they want to kill him and take over.
Yeah.
Which is probably a good plan.
Yeah, no, MODOK's pretty powerful. I wouldn't trust MODOK either.
Yeah, it'd be best not to be a villain, I guess.
Yeah.
So, man, that's a cool ship.
Yeah, the AIM guys, they've got a lot of cool science. Now, AIM was a splinter group. They were the science division of science and weapons and development and whatever division of Hydra. Mm-hmm. But then they moved away and kind of became their own group.
Yeah, I'd stay away from Hydra. They lose too much.
Yeah. Well, it's not like AIM wins either.
Yeah.
But Captain America fights these guys and he smashes MODOK's chair and stuff.
AIM is a better name because it could be a good guy or bad guy. It
could be ambiguous.
Name of toothpaste, you know.
Yeah.
It's just sort of.
Well, right. You could be like work for AIM in science and industry, and then like on the down low be supervillains. Right. Hydra, they're evil.
Right.
I get what you're saying.
You could name a sports car Hydra or something like that, but you're not going to name a baby carriage or something like that, or minivan Hydra. No, they might.
Give it time.
Yeah. No, Agent 13 knocks somebody out, which is cool.
Man, this is such a great story. Like Captain America is just kicking butt.
Yeah. Oh, and MODOK does something. He
uses his mind to blow something up or something.
Oh, he blows up the base.
Mm-hmm. So he kills those guys who were traitors against him, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I don't know.
No, Captain America and them all escaped.
And so he makes sure he's dead. And, whoever else is on the base, which are thousands of people.
Right. So he's evil. He killed a bunch of people. So
so this is about the same plot line. They fight. Here's Iron Man fighting alone against AIM.
All right, and this is reprinted from Iron Man #1, and it's written by Archie Goodwin, with art by Gene Colan, and inked by Johnny Craig, who, if you remember from EC Comics, did most of the Vault of Horror lead stories.
Okay.
And he was probably my favorite of the EC horror guys. Mm-hmm. Him and Wally Wood are like my guys.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like the beekeepers outfits they got. It's kinda, I don't know.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, I guess it is. It could be better. Yeah. So Iron Man is captured by AIM, and but he's fighting as Morbius.
Yeah.
MODOK. Now I thought, what's going on? Is Morbius is MODOK? Oh no, there's two different people, and they're in a submarine, and the beekeepers are doing villainy.
It's pretty fun though.
Yeah, it is. So who is this goober with the?
Isn't that Morbius?
Yeah, he's Morbius. He looks like a regular guy, and he's got a better beekeeping suit.
That's how you know he's the boss.
Yeah. Oh, here is more. That's right. Morbius looks like a goofball.
Yeah.
He look die. Which way did they go?
Yeah.
He's pretty. But he's making his own Iron Man.
He created this. He's got this machine that will create duplicates of Iron Man's armor somehow. Mm-hmm. And so he does that, and he gives like 5 copies away to his henchmen. And it says, "Gang up on Iron Man."
Yep. So he's got to fight 3 Iron Man, at least, as I see.
At least 3.
Yeah. But I'm guessing Iron Man will use his experience in the Iron Man suit.
Yeah. Those guys, maybe they've got the suit, but they won't have known how to use all the stuff.
They don't have the mojo or whatever.
They don't have the mojo. I like that. So is this the last one, our very last book for today? Boy, we really had a lot to cover today, but I feel like we really cruised.
Yeah, and I think going through the plots is not that great.
No?
Especially when they're really complicated, I'm saying. It's sort of, I think it drags it down, and if people want to, I think we should just give enough information to people. Hey, I want to read that comic book.
Sure.
No, I don't want to read that comic book.
Okay.
And if you tell them the whole thing, then it's, oh, okay, well, don't need to read a comic book now. So
Or do they?
Yeah.
So.
Because you don't know, but we really just make up the endings.
Yeah. And not just the endings.
Yeah. And everything. We really don't read comic books. We just made them up.
Yeah, this is all a big prank. We hate comics.
Yeah.
So
man, we ought to.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, that would be hilarious. We ought to make up a comic book.
We should
just throw it in, and then see if anyone will catch.
Yes, we should definitely do an episode where we just make up stories and pretend like we actually write comics.
Mm-hmm.
Or not. I don't know if we should really be brainstorming this on air.
Oh, ignore what we just said.
No, we would never do a thing like that.
Yeah. Okay. Mighty Samson, Seeds of Disaster. I love Mighty Samson.
Well, I'm glad you like him. I don't know why you don't take these issues with you.
I thought I did.
No, you haven't taken any of them before. But anyway, but Mighty Samson number 17 from Gold Key Comics. Yes, Seeds of Disaster is the lead story. Written by Otto Binder with art by Jack Sparling. But
man, one of my favorite villainesses is Tara. Jers.
Yeah, from New Jersey.
Oh, she's a Jersey girl. No
you didn't
wonder
pick up on that? Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
She probably has VD.
Oh.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah, it is. I didn't know that was one of the characteristics.
No, I just made it up.
Did you? Oh,
yeah.
Very good.
Well, I do what I can. You know?
Yeah, all right. But she's always fetching in her boots and skirt. And who's Samson? Samson himself is boring, but I like the villainess and God.
Yeah.
What's his girlfriend's name?
Charmaine.
Yeah.
And then her father,
okay.
who's a professor or something.
Yeah.
So anyway, what did you say the bad girl's name is? I always forget.
Tara.
Tara of Jers. She set out these seeds that they do bad stuff. They like.
And they can make into sword grass or something.
Yeah, and the seeds of destruction. Is that what it is called?
Yeah.
Or seeds of disaster. I was like, where'd she get these from? Monsanto?
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's causing problems for Samson and the people of New York, and so he travels around to, I don't know, somewhere else.
Yeah, he goes through this jungle, so he gets a cleaver. Oh, this will do.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and then he goes in this jungle, and there's a bunch of bones. Looks like they've been dropped from a building. And then there's this bone creature, and he throws a boulder, and it just bounces. So he takes a big stick and beats the crap out of it.
So
I don't know why
he throws a rock at it, and it wouldn't do anything. But then he beats it with a stick.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah.
But he climbs all the way to the top, and there's this garden up there, and it looks really...
Up on the rooftops. It looks pretty.
Yeah, and it's scientifically done.
Yeah.
The scientists did it, but there's cavemen, the Ruffians, and,
yeah.
And he's Samson's a Groundian.
Yeah, and anyway, they jump him, but he hits a guy with a big pea pod, and it splits open on this guy's head, and big peas go flying.
Man, that's awesome.
Yeah, it is. I loved that.
Yeah. And here comes Tara, and she hits him with a electric pod.
Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, it's weird. The Ruffians, they throw their enemies off the roof.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty messed up.
Oh, yeah. They're casting them from their home into the ground, which is evil.
Yeah.
As they can see it. Let's see. Samson. Let's see. What is he? Oh, Tara takes Samson and throws him into this garden with Venus flytraps and gets swallowed by it.
It's a big one.
Oh, then we get this Tomorrow.
Tom Tomorrow.
Yeah, Tom Morrow. The River Feet. He turns big and moves a glacier and saves the city from waterlessness.
Yeah, I don't like those Tom Morrow stories. I think they're dumb.
Yeah.
And I get what Gold Key's trying to do by having this interstitial story, like, have a cliffhanger mid-issue and then have another thing. But it's kind of like, couldn't you just throw this at the end of the book?
I don't mind. If it was good, I wouldn't mind. Although it does break the chain of thing. Because it's not a cliffhanger. I'm going to turn a page to, I don't have to wait. A cliffhanger is when you wait until the next issue or
Right.
episode or movie.
That's why I said a mid-issue one. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like,
But-
why? There's no point.
I mean, having a mid-issue cliffhanger or a mid, I guess they have kind of cliffhangers.
on
on a
television,
TV
like
show,
the
yeah.
bad guys caught him, and then it goes to commercial break, and then they get back and they figure out how to get untied or whatever.
That's because you have commercials in shows.
Yeah,
It's not needed here. It kind of just breaks it up.
yeah.
It breaks up the story.
And for a comic that's not that good, like Mighty Samson,
Mhm.
like it's okay. Tom Morrow is a stinker.
Yeah.
Now I do like it though. When we read Dr. Solar, those interstitial stories with Dr. Harbinger, and they're kind of science fictiony, sciency. With that, I feel like it works really well. But
yeah. So Tara gets these strangler plants.
yeah,
Boy, is she mean.
yeah.
We get a lot of fan service in this issue.
Do we?
Oh, yes. We see
Charmaine.
Charmaine's posterior quite a bit.
Oh yeah. Well, it's just the angle, but yeah.
Oh, just the angle, yeah.
The camera angle, so to speak.
Yeah. It's totally by accident, I'm sure. So.
Yeah. Well.
Oh, but so they escape because they get this. They escape, but they got to go get this fungus that kills the plants.
Right.
So Tara ticked off the Ruthians, and they're
Put her in a cage, and they're gonna throw her off the roof.
Mm-hmm.
But Samson jumps out a window and grabs the cage and saves her.
Yeah, and she thinks that he might love her. So it's a love-hate relationship she has with Samson. Samson got girl, so
but
he says
he did it just so he can get like the antidote or the fungus or whatever from her.
Yeah, right. And I think he would have done it anyway.
Sure.
Samson's a cool guy.
Yeah, he's a stand-up guy.
Yeah.
I wonder how he lost his eye.
I was thinking that too. Probably Tara killed him. Or got it out or something.
Who knows?
Yeah, and then Tara is up to her mean stuff again, but they escape. They get the stuff. And they make a treaty with the Ruthians to no more stuff, no more fighting, and they won't bother them again. And the day is saved.
Yay!
Oh, Tara is disappointed in her plans. Must they always thwart my plans?
Yes, they must.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's called a formula, Tara.
Yeah, and you're the villain.
Yeah.
And yeah, I guess it's in Dr. Evil in the Austin Power movies. Why don't we just make a lot of money? Why don't, Dr. Evil, why don't, instead of these stupid plots. And,
yeah.
Because, I don't know, robbing a bank. Well, I guess but the most money, if you want to make money illegally, you'd be stealing people's credit cards.
Sure.
And that's important. It's important and it's dangerous, but it's not interesting to look at.
Right.
There's some things that are important that who cares? I don't want to watch it.
Well, right. You want to see something where there's like an acid pit or something, or some elaborate
an explosion, or
Yeah.
a car chase, and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because this is escapism. You want to have villainy that's like larger than life, and heroism that's larger than life.
Right.
So yeah.
So yeah, they have to have something. In The Godfather, in the book, The Godfather says one lawyer can steal more than 100 men with guns. So, because doing it simply and with craft and all that stuff, but it's not interesting. And you really don't want to read or watch stuff like that because it's not it's people typing in computers, which is boring.
Right. Yeah.
Or people typing on typewriters is boring. Or people doing their jobs, most of their jobs is boring and not interesting.
Right.
So that's what we learned.
Okay, that's what we learned today?
I think, unless you have another thing.
No, it's okay. You started saying what you learned today before I even asked.
I know, but I knew you were. So.
Oh, I've gotten predictable in my old age.
My spidey sense told me that you would ask that.
All right.
But
Well, it couldn't be that we've been doing that for like the last month or two.
Yeah, and I was ready for it, so I snuck in beforehand.
Okay. Did you have anything else, Jeff, before we sign off?
No. Well, I wish I want to have a happy New Year.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And it's been an interesting year.
Yeah.
That's it.
See you in the future.